Hello and welcome to UK Versus. Today we're talking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The set has just been fully announced, and we've seen the amazing art and where they're going to be pulling characters from. And I want to talk a little bit more about the Turtles and Master Splinter because we're looking at pulling the cards from multiple sources, from Tales of TMNT, from Mutant Mayhem, from the 80s cartoons, from the action figures. So we need to talk about universal truths of the Turtles. And I thought the best way to talk about this as an introduction is to look at something that was added towards the end of last year, but was really highlighted in Critical Role classes. So the characters and the protagonists of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have very distinctive identities that were really introduced in the 80s cartoon. The initial comics didn't really differentiate between the Turtles. It was dark, it was gritty. The 80s cartoons were essentially just 20-minute adverts for the action figures and the toys. So they had to make the characters relatable and more likable. So they all got these very cool personalities that are kind of translated throughout all of TMNT and kept those aspects. And with the introduction of classes and other character traits, we should see that carry on into TMNT. So, what are character classes? So, if you go back, I've got some videos about multi-classing and classing themselves, but these are character traits which will translate into other parts of the game. So, we've seen Brute and Brawler abilities in Critical Role, we've seen Ensign abilities in Star Trek, we've seen Healer abilities, and this just kind of allows characters to have aspects to abilities on cards which relate more to their personalities and playstyles as characters and translating more into an IP. It'd be very weird to see a pacifist character having access to a brutal enhance because that's not part of who they are. Let's start off with looking at the characters, their personalities, and where I think this is going to go in terms of their character classes. So Leonardo is the leader of the Turtles. He is a character of honor. He uses traditional swords. He's very traditional in his training and his kind of bushido of how to act as a ninja. So I think that this is a strong contender to give him the order symbol and the champion class. The champion's all about playing fair, but still bringing damage, throwing down big attacks, knowing you can't do much about it. I think that this kind of fair, honorable mentality, which leads itself to the champion class and the order symbol, is one that we will see on Leonardo, as well, of course, as possibly the good and water symbols, because A, turtle water, and B, the good symbol kind of aligns with that. Not really moral, because, it's not meant to be moral alignment, but this kind of honorable, good aspects of who Leonardo is as a character and the way that he treats his enemies, allies, and basically his life. Then we have Raphael, who comes to blows with Leonardo a lot, wants to be a leader, thinks he can do it better, but is more rough and tumble, self centered kind of. He still loves his brothers and his father, but has his own way of doing things and is all about inflicting the pain and taking down the enemies in the most efficient and brutal way possible. And because of that, I think he will have the brute and or brawler symbols. Brutes are all about pain, dealing pain, feeling pain, just taking each other out and basically kind of having that vigilante aspect to them. So that's kind of what Raph is. A more reckless, charge in kind of character. So the brute class, along with the brawler as a kind of subclass with the fire symbol, for his fiery passion for what he's doing, I think is where Raphael is kind of going to go along. And I think that's going to be reflected in his abilities. We're going to see a more kind of tanky, brutal, burn character, more along the lines like Grog, Strongjaw, and Yasha, who want to take the damage but get rewarded for it. So the more damaged Raph is, the more down and out he is, the harder he's going to be coming back at you. Let's move on to Michelangelo. He's a pizza dude. He is the light-hearted, more carefree turtle. He's trying to keep everyone grounded. He's trying to keep everyone more kind of in the flow. He isn't as serious as everyone else. He can get quite serious, but he's just trying to embrace the fact that he's a teenager. He is a kid and wants to live as a kid. He wants to party. He wants to relax. He knows he has his responsibilities. He knows, but he doesn't want that responsibility to be his only attribute, his only personality. And I think he joins Leonardo on the order symbol, but going more down the entertainer class. Putting on a spectacle, putting on a show, flaunting your cards, flaunting the way that you play, and revealing parts of yourself and kind of going, here's what I'm trying to do, here's my cards, what are you going to do about it? A great way to kind of explore Michelangelo's flashy personality, as well as utilizing that kind of openness that Michelangelo has to everyone through the entertainer class. Now, the reason I kept Donatello to last of the boys is he's the most simple. Donatello's the tech guy, he is the guy in the chair, he has got his bow staff, but his primary weapons are his intellect, his inventions, the fact he's been able to make pizza cannons and the Turtlemobile, which is essentially just an armored tank that shoots manhole covers. He is the inventor class. He cares about the resources, modifying them. He will have the air symbol and will involve removing abilities, removing aspects of his deck to fuel his power. He'll have a lot of inbuilt synergies. He'll have a lot of tech cards and a lot of cards that synergize well together. But like a true inventor, if he doesn't get all the pieces to his combinations, to his synergies, then his machines will kind of just fall apart. I'm very excited to see what Donatello's inventor class is going to do and how he's going to be able to utilize inventor cards from Star Trek Lower Decks and Critical Role. And the last one I want to talk about, because although I think Shredder will have Thief, it's a lot harder to say, is Master Splinter. Master Splinter, I think, will be a Warden. Now, the Wardens are all about balance, all about nature, about restoring to the land and kind of maintaining a balance, gaining more power by what they can give back as well as what they can take from resources. And that is very yin-yang kind of chi aspect. And that is a very Master Splinter personality-esque. The fact that it's all about balance, it's all about giving back as much as what you take from your resources. I think Master Splinter will have the Earth symbol and will be a Warden and will utilize flipping and unflipping his foundations for speed, for damage reduction, and kind of utilizing that yin-yang chi aspect. As I briefly mentioned before, my Splinter, I have been thinking about Shredder and Bishop. Bishop from the TMNT, along with ones like Dr. Baxter, will be inventors in their own right, but they will most likely also have the chaos or evil symbol in there, making their synergies and their evil a little bit more predominant in their gameplay. I think Shredder will have to have kind of like the Thief as well as being a brute or a brawler. He takes damage, he is very powerful, but that Void kind of fire combo seems very good for Shredder. I think Shredder, Splinter, and the Turtles will all also have the Warrior class. And for the Foot Clan themselves, if we see members of the Foot Clan as backups or even possibly as characters, they will have the Death symbol or even the Infinity symbol because they are pact bound in their own right. They have given up their identity, they've given up their time, they've given up who they are to become part of the Foot Clan. And that, to me, is the pack-bound death symbol kind of identity, giving up part of themselves to gain power. I'm very excited to go for that. I would love to get a little bit more into Ray Fillet and all the other characters from Tales of TMNT and Mutant Mayhem that I think possibly might show up and what symbols will they have, but I want to stick with these kind of 6 for now. Well, mainly 5. I think Leonardo's going to be a champion, Raphael's going to be a brute, Michelangelo's going to be an entertainer, Donatello, of course, has to be an inventor, and Splinter will be a warden, as well as Bishop and Dr. Baxter being inventors, and Shredder being a thief, because that denial, that void aspect, is very anti-warden. It's very, what he's looking to do is take all the resources, all the power, and hoard it for himself. He could also get the death symbol and may have a pack-bound aspect as is pack-bound to Krang, but it depends on how much of the 80s stuff we actually see. I don't think Krang and Shredder have shown up that much in Mutant Mayhem and Tales of TMNT, but I'm not too familiar with that IP in myself. I'm going to have to go away and do some research, but I'm still finishing up my Critical Role aspects. What do you think? Am I on the mark here? Are these the traits and the character classes we're going to see for the Turtles, or do you have better ones? Could we see Healer or Mage pop in? Because they do have that chi aspect. If we see a Venus de Milo character, that could definitely pop in as a healer. She has some very powerful turtle chi abilities. Let me know, what do you guys think? Are there any other traits or classes that they could definitely get with more? And how do you feel about the new IPs and these new characters coming in with these classes and these new class-specific abilities? I think it's absolutely great to see multi-symbol cards that are able to express their symbol identity through these character class enhances and responses and blitzes. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know, are you excited for TMNT? I will catch you all in the next one. I'm going to go have some pizza, chill out in the sewers, and see if I can find a rat to teach me some ninjutsu. I'll catch you all in the next one, and have yourself a great time. Bye.